Hello everyone, welcome to today's presentation. In this video, we are going to look at how a case of incest and defilement that was lodged against someone at the police station was solved using a scientific technology. So this will be our presentation outline. We will look at overview of the charges that was preferred against this person. So we will look at the overview of incest, and then we also have an overview of defilement. And we will look at the brief facts of the case. Then we will see the reason why the investigators chose this scientific investigative tool. We will also look at how the sampling was done, the results they got, and interpret it, and then we will conclude. So, overview of incest. What is incest? Now, incest is a sexual activity between family members or close relatives, and the laws regarding incest vary considerably between jurisdictions and depend on the type of sexual activity and the nature of the family relationship of the parties involved, as well as the age and sex of the parties. So, when incest involves an adult and a child, it is considered to be a form of child sexual abuse. Let's also look at defilement. What is defilement? This is natural or natural carnal knowledge of a child under the age of 16 years old, whether or not the child consents. This is per the laws of Ghana. So once again, defilement also depends on the jurisdiction. So we are talking about defilement in Ghana. Consent isn't the major thing that we have to look at. It's just about having natural or natural carnal knowledge of a child under 16. So the main thing is the age. Once the child is under 16 years, then consent doesn't come into play. If you sleep with such a child, you have defiled the child. So the age depends on the jurisdiction. As I said, below 16 is for Ghana. In other jurisdictions, the age might differ. So whoever naturally or unnaturally carnally knows any child under 16 years of age, whether with or without his or her consent, commits an offense and shall be liable on summary conviction to imprisonment for a term of not less than 7 years and not more than 25 years per the laws of Ghana. The effect of defilement on the victim includes pains in the private parts, HIV/AIDS, syphilis, and other sexually transmitted infections. Subsequently, the victim is likely to experience long-term psychosomatic problems like anxiety, nightmares, bedwetting, and fear. Defilement cases in any country must be fairly tackled. The government, to begin with, must mete out stiffer punishments or penalties to culprits so that others will also desist from such acts. So let's look at what happened. That's the case that was reported to the police. Let's have a look at the briefers of the case. So a case of defilement and incest of a 15-year-old girl was lodged with the police. It was alleged that the father of the 15-year-old girl had sexual intercourse with the girl, which led to the girl becoming pregnant. Now, this 15-year-old girl delivered a baby girl, and there was the need to prove the charges preferred against the accused person. So, the investigative team met, and then, upon expert advice, a DNA relationship test was ordered by the court to ascertain or determine whether the accused person, one, is the biological father of the 15-year-old girl, that's the victim, and also whether this same accused man is also the father of the newly born baby, that's the newly born baby of the 15-year-old victim. So, choosing the investigative tool. Why did the investigators go in for DNA tests? Now, from the principle of inheritance, each parent shares 50% of DNA with his or her child. What does it mean? It means if you pick the DNA profile of a parent and you compare it to that of a child, you will find 50% of the child's DNA in the parent's DNA. Or you find out that the parent contributed 50%. That's if it's a father, the father contributed 15%. Sorry, the father contributed 50% of his DNA to his child, and the other 50% will definitely come from the mother. So it's always 50-50. Each parent contributes 50% of DNA to a child genetic makeup. That is how a child inherits DNA from his or her parents. So, DNA paternity test between the suspect or accused and the alleged victim was conducted, and also DNA paternity test between the suspect or accused and the alleged victim's newly born baby. So, what samples were taken for this particular DNA test? The analyst or the scientist took buccal swab samples. That is, they took samples from the cheeks of the parties involved. So they took a buccal swab sample from the accused man. They also took a buccal swab sample from the 15-year-old girl. Then they also took buccal swab sample from the baby of the 15-year-old girl. So 3 parties. Test results. So the various samples that they took went through the process of DNA profiling, which involves DNA extraction, DNA quantification, DNA amplification, and then electrophoresis. There's a video on that. So you should try and watch that video. There's a video on DNA paternity test so that you learn about the process involved. Before we continue, don't forget to subscribe to this channel. Click the subscribe button, like this video, share, and also leave your comments in the comment section. Don't forget to hit the bell so that you'll be informed or notified anytime I upload any new video. Thank you. So after the DNA profiling process and the analyst going through all the statistics involved, the following results and conclusions were made by the scientists. So this is the DNA profile of the accused man. These numbers are what we call the alleles. This stuff that you see at the top here, They are the genetic markers or loci. And the XY means this is a DNA profile coming from a man. Now this is the DNA profile of the 15-year-old girl. At the sex determining locus, you can see only X, meaning XX. So this means DNA profile from a female. This is also the DNA profile of the newly born baby. That's the baby born to this 15-year-old victim. Once again, you can see only X, meaning XX. This indicates that this DNA profile is also coming from a female. So this is the results in a table form. So how were the scientists able to prove to the court the charge of defilement against the accused person? So let's look at this table. So over here we have what we call the markers or the loci. So this is the DNA profile of the newly born baby. This column is the DNA profile of the newly born baby. This column is the DNA profile of the 15-year-old victim, the victim of this incest and defilement. And this is the DNA profile of the accused man. In DNA paternity test, we normally refer to such a person as an alleged father, because you want to prove whether he is the biological father of the these two parties involved. We have the obligate paternal alleles here. Once again, as I said, don't forget to watch my video on DNA paternity testing so that you understand these terms better. So, in DNA paternity test, as I said, a father contributes 50% to a child's DNA profile. So, if a man happens to be the biological father of a child in question, at every locus that you test, the alleged father and the child in question should share an allele. So, let's come back to this table. This is the proof of defilement. So over here, we want to prove whether the alleged father indeed slept with the 15-year-old girl. So if this baby, the newly born baby, happens to be the child of this alleged father, then it means he indeed slept with the 15-year-old girl. So once we're able to do that, it means we'll be able to prove the case of defilement against this particular man. So at the first locus, the child had 17. That is allele 17. The 15-year-old girl who happens to be a mother has 16, 17. It means she contributed 17 to a child. And what does it mean? It means the father should also contribute 17. And the father has 17 here. So the obligate paternal allele is present. Let's look at the VWA locus. A child has 15, 17. The mother also has 15, 17. The father has 15, 16. It means the father probably contributed the 15 and the mother contributed the 17. The third locus, the baby has 9. The mother has 9, 12. It means the mother contributed 9. It means the father should also contribute 9. And the father has 9 here. So obligate paternal allele is present. You can do the same for all the loci that we tested or the scientists tested. So from this table, we can see that the alleged father and the newborn baby shares common allele, or the father contributed 50% to this child's DNA. So the scientists calculated what we call the paternity likelihood ratio or paternity index. So this is the paternity index. Now, what conclusions did the scientists draw from the table we just looked at? So, the accused man shares common allele with the baby at all loci tested. The combined paternity index is calculated by multiplying all these paternity indexes, the various paternity indexes. Once you multiply all of them, you get what you call a combined paternity index. So the combined paternity index that they had was 48756945256.785. It's a very huge number. And they use something called probability of 0.5. Now the probability of paternity was 99.9999%. And normally, probability of paternity greater than 99 is accepted as a positive result. Now, let's look at how they were able to also prove the incest. Incest means having sexual intercourse with your own relatives. In this case, an alleged father and a 15-year-old girl. So how were the scientists able to prove the case of incest also against this same man? The case of defilement has already been proven. So there was a need to also prove the charge of incest that has been preferred against the accused man. So this is the DNA profile of the 15-year-old girl. And this is also the DNA profile of the accused man. So how are they able to prove the case of incest? From defilement, since the baby belonged to the man, we already know that the man indeed slept with this girl. So we have to prove that this girl is indeed the biological daughter of the accused man. Once we are able to do that, it means the man has committed the offense of incest. And once again, let's look at the first locus. The 15-year-old girl has 1617. The man has 1517. They share the common allele of 17. So common allele is present. At locus VWA, 15-year-old girl 1517. The accused man 1516. They share 15 allele. So common allele is present. At the third locus, 15-year-old girl 912. Accused man 9. It means they share the allele 9. Once again, they share common allele. So you can continue for the other loci that was tested or that was tested. And these are the paternity indices. And this is the combined paternity index, which was done by multiplying the various paternity indices. So what conclusions were drawn by the scientists? The accused man shares common allele with the victim, that the 15-year-old girl, at all loci tested. Combined paternity index was 343,119,809.4153. Once again, a huge number. And they use a probability of 0.5 in their calculation. They had a probability of paternity to be 99.9999%. So let's look at the conclusions that were drawn by the scientists. 1. The accused man cannot be excluded as the biological father of the 15-year-old girl. If the accused man cannot be excluded, then it means the case of incest has been proven. Indeed, the man slept with his own biological daughter. The second conclusion, accused man cannot be excluded as the biological father of the baby. What it means is that the case of defilement has also been proven against this man. It means the accused man slept with a minor, a 15-year-old girl, and got her pregnant. So it means this man has defiled a child below 16 years. So the charge of defilement preferred against this man has also been proven. So, ladies and gentlemen, this is how a DNA test was used, or this is how a scientific tool or science was used in helping the criminal justice system to ascertain whether an accused man has indeed defiled a child below 16 and also committed an offense of incest. So, this is how powerful DNA is. And DNA has come to stay. Without DNA, it would have been very difficult to prove this case. But with science, the case or the charges of incest and defilement has been proven against the accused man. Thank you once again for watching, and don't forget to subscribe to this channel. Comment, leave all your questions in the comment section. Also, share this video, like it, and watch other videos from my channel. Watch out for new educative videos coming up. Thank you and have a good evening.